here is exactly what I would do if I was starting from zero and I wanted to scale once again to 1 million. I have done actually just over 7 million in all of my businesses. I've coached more than 5,000 women, and I've also accumulated just over 500 million in clients revenue. So I think I know how to scale a business, but if we need to focus on what things actually work and what would I do once again, I came to 5 main things that I will focus and 5 things that I swear by. And here's the thing. You don't have to actually start from zero. For example, you might have already created a 5-figure business, a 6-figure business, and you're so close, or you actually want to get to a point where your business is generating 1 million in revenue or in sales or in every single year. I would do these 5 things and I would make sure that I have these 5 things. So let's jump into them. So the first thing would be, I would make sure that I build a long-term vision. So instead of just sitting and thinking, how can I make quick money in a couple of months, I will just sit and think, what will be something that I would do in the next 5 to 10 years? Yes, I said 5 to 10 years. And I will enjoy doing that. Now we have so many examples, especially in the last few years, where we see founders that literally cross the $1 million mark so fast within a couple of months. But the truth is, what I often find is that people, they think that they can do so much in 1 year, but the truth is 1 year can go really fast, and I don't want you to get discouraged. Some people are so close to actually making it and to scaling to 1 million, hitting their first million in their business and doing it actually quite fast, because you can still hit 1 million after 10 years. I get that. But here the logic is, you want to make sure that you will be committed. You will be doing this and you will actually enjoy doing that. And so when I started specifically my consulting career, when I started consulting for companies and when I started consulting individuals as well, I knew that this will be something that I would love to do in the future. I would love to coach, mentor people. I would love to work with companies. I knew I want to do that. So what I want you to do right now, no matter how long you've been doing that, by the way, you could be watching this and you could have done this for 10 years. I want you to pause for a second and ask yourself, do I really want to do this in the next 5 years? But really, I want you to get very honest with yourself. Is this something that I want to do? And if you don't want to do this thing in the next 5 years, don't do it, boo-boo. There is one TikTok creator. I love her because she always says, you can apply what I'm teaching you, or don't do it, boo-boo. Don't do it. So you don't do it either. If you are not seeing yourself doing this in the next 5 years, don't do it. Now, again, you might say, well, I've seen all these people who launch their companies and they exit within a year or they sell it within 2 years. Yes, but that might not be you. Realistically, I know you're seeing all these videos on YouTube, and especially now with AI, all these young dudes are somehow crushing it within such a short period of time, and some of them sell the company and they exit. That might not be you, and you just have to be prepared. So make sure you're here for the long run and you actually enjoy what you're doing, so it's not something that you absolutely hate and you don't want to do that. The second thing is, I will seriously think of what is that one thing that when I pick it, it has a serious potential in the future as well. So what do I mean by that? I want you to choose something that solves a real problem that will matter in the next 5 years. Because the truth is, most businesses don't really lack effort. Most businesses fail or are not making money because nobody wants what they're selling. And this really hurts. And I know it hurts. But you have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, is this going to be selling in the next 5 years? And I know that with AI, this question is really difficult. Now, let's be honest, this is a really difficult question because we don't know how some industries will transform in the next 5 years, but there are problems that we know for a fact that in the next 5 years, people will need solutions. So think about that. Or if you don't think about this, then you really have to be ready to pivot and pivot fast. So think, are you able to do that? One of the reasons why right now, for example, the coaching industry is suffering is because a lot of people are offering things that people used to offer 7 years ago. People don't want these things anymore. They want different things. They want the different solutions. They want the solutions to be delivered in a totally different way. Things have changed. Move on and move on fast. So make sure that right now, all of the offers, all of the products, anything that you have, people will desire this in the next 5 years. Now, here are the tips. So you have to ask yourself the question, and you also have to do these following things. So you have to do market validation really early. You have to validate the market and you have to ask the question, am I selling to a market that wants this? Do they have a real need and want for this thing, or is it a good to have thing? If you're selling good to have things, if you're not an established brand, it's going to be really challenging for you to have these results very fast. Choose something that it's hard to commoditize. I say this all the time, and I see people trying to sell commodities and they're struggling. That's the reason. And also think, will people still pay for this? So they might need it, okay? They might need it, they might want it, but the question is, in 5 years from now, will they pay for this? Because the truth is, especially with AI, there are going to be a lot of things that people will not be willing to pay for. And we are now currently seeing it. For example, we are seeing a drop in specific industries where people are not willing anymore to pay either the same amount of money, or because AI has made it so much easier for them, they just say, well, I'm just gonna go and check it out on ChatGPT. Now, with some industries, that doesn't work. It doesn't work because AI is still not that advanced, but it is this close. Please, I beg you. And so one of the reasons why my coaching business and my agency are doing so good is because we never, ever, ever sit down and say, oh, well, that's it. We will not improve anymore. We will not show new products. We will not do market research. In fact, this March of this year, we created over 30 brand new products just because we saw how everything is changing. We had to change as well. The third thing that I would say is, if you want to scale, you will have to learn the game of social media and of branding. So if you don't know how to do it, if you don't understand social media, and when I say understand social media, I'm not saying that you have to spend half a month figuring out reels and stuff like that, but you really have to sit down and learn, how is social media operating now? Lots of my clients and a lot of other people that I'm observing who are complaining that business is not going well, they are just stuck in how social media was working 2-3 years ago. And then they're listening people who are saying, do not listen to the trends. My God, please listen to the trends, because literally the trend is going to help you. Imagine the trend is like a current. Yes, it might go away, but it will help you, and you have to constantly stay relevant. So learn social media, learn how to use it, learn what's working, what kind of formats, how to do a story, how to do hooks. Oh, so important. People who don't know how to do hooks are not doing well right now, I will tell you that. So personal branding, learn how to do personal branding. And here's the thing, not every, but so many of the successful brand new founders, companies that have been emerging lately, most of them say that one of the reasons why they managed to scale so fast is because they leveraged their social media. And the truth is, if you really have mastered the game of personal branding, and most people have not, if you master this game, you can really change what you are selling. You can literally sell so many different things to people as long as people love you, like you, they trust you, they want to work with you, they know your personal brand. So please build a personal brand. So important. You don't need to have millions of followers. You don't even need to have viral videos, but you should be doing good with social media. One of the reasons why, for example, my book launch have been super successful right now is because before the book was there was already a demand. People already wanted it. We already had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on the wait list. Please create a personal brand. And if you hate social media, if you're not good with social media, what I can tell is please then have the resources to hire people who are good with it. They can help you, they can support you with that. I have so many courses, so many trainings on how to improve your social media. It's so important to handle it. And to be honest with you, you don't have an excuse anymore, because literally all of the information is there. There's no secrets. People are literally openly sharing what's working for them. In my courses, in my programs, in my digital products, I share everything that works for me. There's nothing hidden. And so you can say, well, just because it works for you, well, I've used things that work across different industries. So learn social media, learn how social media is working right now. Now, number five is going to be to build systems that sell while you are sleeping. I wish that when I was just starting, at the very, very beginning, I was with this mentality. It took me a while to prioritize selling systems. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to create a selling system that sells for you all the time. There is no break. Literally, you don't stop selling when you're sick. You don't stop selling when your kids are sick. You don't stop selling when you enter menopause. You don't stop selling when something happens in your home. You don't stop selling when you go through a surgery, and on and on and on and on. I can go and literally I can name so many examples where I worked with people that their business was scaling so good. And then something happened, and because they had no selling processes and systems that are proved to work, the business had to slow down. I've literally worked with people who have been making close to millions per month, and then all of a sudden something happened either in their personal life or something happened within the company, within the business. Something happened, and then all of a sudden everything went all the way down. Don't do that. Don't wait for your business to dramatically grow and then for you to build automations and systems. Do the automations as soon as you can. As soon as you can. This is so important. So, if your business relies on you manually to sell stuff, you having to be there, we have a scaling problem. Unless you have lots of money to invest in people, lots of money to invest in resources, lots of money to spend on expanding your team, locations, and so on and so on. Automations is your best friend. Please do that. Use 1,000% automations. You need some kind of an automation. So if you have a service-based business, I have a service-based business as well. In fact, I have a couple of service-based businesses. The agency is a service-based business. I had to think of what are the other things that we can do to supplement this business so that this business is not reliant only on myself and the team working and we having to onboard clients the whole time. Now, before you say, Ayo, that is impossible, my business is XYZ, I cannot, I dare you to change your mindset and think how it is actually possible to make it work. At this point, I've worked with so many different industries. If you truly want that to happen, you will make it happen. You will strategize and you will make this happen. Now, to wrap up, I gave you these 5 key elements. So the first one, let's repeat. The first one was you actually knowing that in the following 5 to 10 years, you will be invested in this. You have a long-term vision. You want to do this. This is something that you are interested in. And if things get tough on month 3 or even after doing it for 3 years, you will not give up. You might pivot, you might change things, but you will still be there. The second thing is, please choose a problem, a product, a solution, whatever it is that it's going to exist in the next 5 years. It could be a little bit difficult to predict, but there are industries where we know people will need that kind of support and service. So please go and choose that. The third thing was mastering social media and building a personal brand. So important. In fact, if I had kids and I had to ask them to learn something, it would be that, and to start from early and start building their personal brand since they were small, because that gives them so much leverage with time. The fourth thing will be to make sure that you have sales processes in place. This is so important. Start building funnels, start building systems, start building automations, because you cannot risk to let your business depend on human energy and humans having to do everything. And I know, again, you might say, Ayo, I'm not sure if this will work in my company. You have to think smart, or you will have to make sure that if that's not possible, at least so many of the processes are optimized. I recently had a client who had to, a week ago, she had to shut down a huge brick and mortar business, huge one, because of that, because she somehow didn't manage to master selling without always have to be present and always having to have people. And then obviously the final thing would be making sure you have proper funnels set in place, proper systems that make sure that your clients are not only coming into your world, but they are staying into your world. So these systems that you create, these funnels that you create, you want to make sure that you're not just having top of funnel and getting people into the business, but how are we retaining people into the business? One of the things that really helped me scale so fast and for such a short period of time is the fact that I really understood what people want. And my clients at this point, we have a higher than 95% retention rate in the businesses, which is quite a lot. And the reason for that is because we pay so much attention to the client. We place the client first. The client is the most important, but they're also in selling cycles all the time. So that is extremely important. Now, to wrap up, it doesn't matter if you are at zero. It doesn't matter if you've just started, you started making some money. If you want to scale to 1 million, I will highly recommend you do that. If I had to do it myself, once again with another business, and funny enough, I'm building another company as we speak, and so I'm applying these same 5 steps. If you found this interesting, please let me know. If you have any questions, drop a comment, ask a question. I will be really happy to engage with you. And the last thing that I want to say, that if you are an entrepreneur who want to grow, you want to be in an environment where you have like-minded people who are ambitious, who are thinking just like you, and who are very supportive. I have a free community with people just like that. The link is below. You can grab the link. I hope you enjoyed the process. And I actually am looking forward to hearing people saying, I've hit 1 million because of what you suggested.